So there was a young lady who came out and said that the Black Panther Wakanda Forever had an agenda behind it, that they were pushing for female dominance, that the man seemed weak, and that it was just a mess to her. And she didn't agree with the fact that it didn't represent her culture. And I had some thoughts about this, but first, let me show you what she had to say.
So I just left seeing Wakanda Forever, and I'm pissed. I am pissed because if pushing an agenda was a movie, this would be in the forefront of that. This was Woman King on steroids. If you think that I'm gonna believe 100-pound black woman soaking wet is just an almighty warrior and can just body dudes like it's no tomorrow, come on. Like, instead of Wakanda, it should have been called Where Are the Men? Because they was not there, they were not present, and the ones that was there was weak. But all the women that was in the movie was just brolic, built, strong Hercules. What is this saying to us? Perpetuating the idea of the strong black woman and a subservient black effeminate man. I just think it's disgusting. I'm completely upset by the movie. And man, if this Kyrie Irving didn't teach me anything, it's when you put your life career in the hands of other people that don't look like you, then they can make you do whatever they want you to do. And this movie does not represent what African culture is. It doesn't represent what our culture needs to be. So, nah, I'm good on Wakanda. Where all the men.
As you can see there, she had a strong opinion. I don't mind where she was coming from. I get it. You know, women can, in our culture, there seems like they're pushing this agenda where women are the dominant species and the male just weak. They're just like some pushovers, and they can be told and do whatever. You can just tell them and do whatever they want. And that's just not something I agree with. However, I didn't really agree with that context being in this movie. And here's why. The first thing is Chadwick Boseman was supposed to be Black Panther. We forget that, right? He died, unfortunately, in 2020. So the director of this film had, 2 years to figure out the story, to figure out who's going to be the next Black Panther. I mean, it was unexpected, right? So to me, my opinion is, I don't think that was the intent. I just don't. I think what happened was they had to figure out what they were going to do next, and they had to make a quick decision. If they had found a new Black Panther, maybe they brought back Michael B. Jordan as Black Panther. Maybe that would have worked, but he was already Killmonger, so I don't know how you work on that. Maybe find another Black Panther actor, a male actor, but now you have to recast and get people to accept them. So why not just have Shuri as your Black Panther, because they've already developed her character. So to me, that made more sense in the end. I don't think you had to say like this movie was about, females dominating men, because she made a statement about, the females were bodying dudes, but in the context of what was going on, you had female warriors, right? Also, when Shuri was Black Panther, she had the strength of Black Panther. So of course she's going to look stronger because she's absorbed the strength of what Chadwick Boseman had, right? And in that fight with Namor, Namor was dominating her for the most part. I mean, he was just getting her left and right, and she had to overcome her struggles, and they came to the conclusion that we should work together instead of her seeking out revenge on him. And I like that. And it didn't seem like, yeah, you're just weaker. You don't deserve to have any power. No. They were going to work together. So we got to look at the context of what was really going on. And also, the director of Black Panther directed Creed. He directed the first Black Panther. So I don't think his intent was to just make it seem like women were supposed to just dominate. They were supposed to be just in this, there's this agenda, you see this like with politics, like, oh, the Democrats are pushing this idea. I do see like Marvel films trying to push the women being over dominant. I have seen that in the films. I just didn't see it in this movie. I just didn't. And that's just my opinion. I appreciate where she's coming from, where she's saying that men seem weak, because I do believe that is pushed in our culture today. It's pushed in Hollywood. You see it in TV shows. It's right there in your face, right? You can't ignore it. And I don't agree with that. I believe that a man should be leading his house. He should be the one taking charge and take responsibility of his actions and making sure he becomes a better leader, because to me it goes like this: as God, man, and then woman. Doesn't mean that, a man's better than a woman. It's just how the order goes because we need men in our lives. You see in our culture where women are just saying, oh, I'm independent, which is great. But then they say things like, I don't need no man in my life. I'm good by myself. And you see that idea being pushed in our culture today. So I appreciate what she said on that part where men are seen like they're not significant, they have no value. And I don't agree with that part. I really don't like that being pushed in our culture. Now, with that being said, did I see that a lot in this movie? Not too much. I didn't. I mean, you still had M'Baku as a he maybe not he didn't play as a huge role in the movie, but remember, Shuri just lost her brother, right? T'Challa. So of course they're gonna focus on her family more in this movie because they're dealing with the grief. The warriors who worked with him are going to deal with that grief together. They just happen to have a lot of female warriors. But you still had, on the like, if you look at the council and the mom, and you still had male leaders in Wakanda. So we have to just be careful with how we perceive things because it doesn't always come across as we think. And as a man, I try to do my best not to overreact because when I first saw this, I was like, she got some good points. But when I thought about it more and more, I'm like, no, not with this one. I don't see it as much. I just don't. Because again, they can always bring a male Black Panther later for the next film or the film after. I don't know, whatever they want to do. I just think we got to be careful with these talking points because it doesn't always become applicable. And in this instance, I just don't agree. It's that simple. Do I believe that women are seen as can be seen as a stronger species or the pushing this agenda where the men have no value, they're weak, they're just a bunch of feminine men running around? Yes, I do see that. But do I think that was in this movie? No, I don't. Make sure you leave some comments, like, and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to go check out my other video about toxic masculinity, where I just talk about, the things I don't agree with about toxic masculinity, go check that out now, and I'll see you in the next video.